What's your least favorite word
My what?
or sentence?
I don't know.
Kill charity's children?
Paris.
How old is Ella?
4.
She's 4 years old? How old are
Yeah.
you?
13. Because I stabbed her.
What did you stab her with?
A knife.
Okay, where'd you stab her?
Lots of places.
Since this is going to be done for ITV, would you like me to speak in Queen's English?
So before we go into today's story, if you're into true crime, paranormal, and cryptids, smash that like and subscribe button and turn on all notifications. Okay, so let's get into today's story. The real life story of Paris Bennett is just as horrifying today as it was 15 years ago when Bennett brutally killed his 4-year-old sister after raping her. Bennett, only 13 years old when he committed this horrendous atrocity, was sentenced to 40 years in prison and has been in jail since he was arrested in 2007. Bennett has been described as a psychopath because of the vile nature of this crime. Charity Lee, Bennett's mother, explains that she was shaken by the events that unfolded on February the 5th of 2007. Lee had been working at her regular waitressing job and had left her children under the supervision of a babysitter. In the absence of his mother, Bennett schemed and persuaded the babysitter to leave so he could harm his sister without any intrusion. Apparently, Bennett intended to harm his sister as in a means to punish his mother. After convincing the babysitter to leave earlier than usual, Bennett managed to stab his sister an unbelievable 17 times, only to spite his mother. The poor 4-year-old girl was sleeping comfortably in her bed when her brother attacked her. After killing his sister, the 13-year-old decided to call the police and confess to the horrible crime he committed. Years later, Lee revealed details of her conversation with her son in the aftermath of the traumatizing incident. Bennett told his mother that he had consumed countless hours of violent pornographic content, which had driven him sexually to assault his baby sister. After sexually assaulting his sister, he decided to kill her to hide the sexual abuse. In her conversation with her son, Lee had confronted him about his unhealthy consumption of porn. Lee had heard from authorities that there was traces of semen on the 4-year-old daughter's lifeless body. That clearly meant that Bennett had exposed his sister to sexual abuse in addition to the violence that ultimately took her life. Perhaps the most bizarre statement that Bennett gave the police was his description on what it felt like to stab his sister. Bennett told the police that after stabbing his sister, he pulled out the knife slowly and it felt like it was stabbing marshmallows or like a mattress. The coldness in which Bennett details how he murdered his own sister speaks the deranged nature in his mind. Bennett felt somewhat justified in killing his sister as a means of punishment to his mother. But even sadder was the fact that he was not necessarily horrified of what he did, making keen observations on how he felt to stab his sister. Filled with the twisted hate of his mother, Bennett decided to take both of her children away. Lee's daughter will be taken away through the act of brutal murder, and her son will be committed to the crime and be taken away to prison. Bennett knew that losing both of her children this way would hurt his mother, and he wanted to inflict such suffering onto his mother, suffering that would stay with Charity Lee all her life. Ironically, although Bennett brought suffering to his mother, Lee did not give up on her son. Lee continues to visit Bennett in prison, even though Bennett has clearly enjoyed watching his mother live in a despair-filled state for suffering. Recently in an interview, Bennett claimed that he believes he committed a horrifying crime, but that his one mistake should not cost him his life.
Yes, I did commit a monstrous crime, but does one mistake define my entire life? And does that one mistake mean that I'm at the extreme end of the spectrum? I don't think it does.
Bennett continues to serve his 40-year-old sentence in the Ferguson Unit Texas State Prison. Now 28, Bennett looks quite differently from the 13-year-old that killed his sister. But there is enough proof that he is the same evil monster deep down. The following clips was an exclusive interview with English journalist Piers Morgan.
Your relationship with your mother is very complicated. She's been advised by professionals that she should have nothing more to do with you. She should relocate somewhere where you have no idea where she is, change her name, necessary, and sever all links with you. What do you make of your mother's decision to stand by you?
It astounds me.
You have an IQ of 141, which is pretty well genius level. That would make you an exceptional intellect for people who are normally in prison. One of the things most people say when they serve a lot of time is just how boring and repetitive, mundane the life is. How do you deal with that?
Books. I am a voracious reader. I'm always reading. I enjoy reading horror and dark fiction because it can be hard for me to read novels about mundane life and mundane concerns. When I read a horror story, it's almost soothing in a way.
Hey, Paris, what is your problem?
I'm the ghost of Paris. You will suffer. I will kill you. See?
Piers Morgan ended up making a statement, quote, "He is a psychopath. Every expert that has met him has said that he cannot be cured." So what are your thoughts on this case? Was Bennett's actions a direct result from countless hours of violent and pornographic content, or something more sinister that's part of his making? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Don't forget, if you're into true crime, paranormal, and cryptids, smash that like and subscribe button and hit that bell icon. And until next time.